Hello and welcome to another episode of Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we'll update you on Ferris State men's and women's basketball as they continue GLIAC play. We'll also check in with Bulldog hockey after a trip to Lake Superior State. We'll start first, though, with Bulldog basketball, joined by head coach Andy Bronkema. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Robert.
Speaking of Lake Superior, obviously you guys had just the one game this past week, over the weekend at least, an early game against Davenport, then a trip to Lake Superior State this past week.
Yeah, with the odd number of teams and just with some COVID makeups, the schedule's been get them in whenever you can. So we had the makeup game Monday, and then just the Thursday game with a Saturday open because Northwood doesn't have a travel partner. So we've had those Northwood Saturdays open. Gives us a chance to watch our daughters play basketball. I saw your post on social media. I was doing the exact same thing, still in the gym, checking out our daughters playing their games. We went 3-1 on the weekend, but more importantly, we got better. The Bronkema girls did, and had some fun. But yeah, and then right back at it. The next week with the interesting schedules. So we just play whenever we're told.
Obviously, taping this here early in the week. Got a game tonight, Monday night against Northwood, and then a trip to Purdue Northwest, Wisconsin Parkside later on this week, and now facing all these teams for the second time here in the GLIAC schedule.
Yeah, we always talk about the second time through. You try to have a few wrinkles saved for the teams the second time through, but it's pretty much no secrets, and you just slug it out, a slugfest, and that's where it's at the second time through the GLIAC. It's just familiar, and whoever's going to make the most plays and the plays down the stretch is usually the team that's going to win.
As we go to some of the highlights, we'll go to Thursday's game against Lake Superior State, and obviously a tough place to play on the road. It's always been tough over the years. Even the year you won the national championship, that was the one setback, was at Lake Superior State.
Yeah, it's a great place to play because of that. You like to play in those big games, and we've won a couple big games there. We've lost a couple big games, and it's exciting. So we got off to a great start, and we were really defending, and they went on a huge run and stole all the momentum and confidence, and really that was the difference. And you look back at the film, and you just see them making plays, and you see us almost making plays, and that'll happen sometimes. We just didn't make enough plays. That was a great job on the offensive rebound there. We call that the moment of truth right there with the shot pressure. The truth was there wasn't enough shot pressure, and he drained it. But I think there's plenty to learn about this, and this broke the big run they went on, banked it in. Otherwise, it would have been even more drastic going into halftime. So, but yeah, the season is marathon, not a sprint. So each game, we attack with everything we have, and we've won a lot of them. We've lost a couple recently, and we're going to continue to attack them.
Obviously, they had a big run here to start the second half, but credit your guys, kept battling, trying to find a way to get back in it here down the stretch.
Yeah, we did battle, but we didn't battle with the neck up. It was just too much emotionally for us, and it was. I even look at that play right there. I mean, we're flailing all over the place. He's making a great strong pivot, and he drains the bucket. So we weren't as good as we want to be, or we've been in the past, and we're going to continue to work to be better.
Obviously, as we've seen over the years, tough to win on the road in the GLIAC. This a prime example of that.
Yeah, and just throw the records out the door. We don't even pay attention to the records. And teams have talented players and good coaches, so you have to be better that day. That's it. That's the game plan. We weren't better that day. They were. So you shake their hand, you say good job, and you hope you're better next time. And well, you don't hope. You train. You train to be better, and you lick your wounds, and you get back at it. And we've done that, and looking forward to the next one.
Obviously, a loss you never like to see, but sometimes you can really grow as a team through a loss like that on the road.
I don't know what it is, but it's true. It's certainly true. I mean, you should be able to grow regardless, but it's just sometimes it grabs your attention, and sometimes it has to be a couple or a stretch in the season. So whatever it needs to be, we're willing to go through it, and we've had a lot of seasons together as a staff and as a program. We've been around, so we've kind of had different teams go through different little things, and each team's different. So we'll try to push the right buttons for this team, finish strong, and see what the rest of the year has for us.
Obviously 5 games left here in the regular season, all important games here in terms of the conference race from here on out and in terms of postseason opportunities.
Yeah, I think we put a large amount of emphasis on every game during the year. So, for our guys, I know they feel like every game is very important, and the last 5 may be more important because they're the last 5. But we do that for every single game, every year, on the schedule. So that's just something that we're used to, putting that level of importance on it, and that's the way we're going to continue to do it. And it might be too much, but I think it trains them to be turned on all the time.
As you go through the conference schedule, obviously 13-2 in the GLIAC, but really a challenging slate in the GLIAC as it always is. It seems like any team capable of beating anyone else here in the conference.
Yeah, teams get hot, or they're playing good, or they got a guy back from injury, and all that's part of a lengthy 2-semester schedule. So just you play who shows up on the floor. You try to be better, and you really just want to take care of your players and make sure that they're feeling good and they're in a good state. They're in the right performance zone, and sometimes there's stuff outside of basketball too that you can't control, and you just try to be there for them and love them up, and that's what the season's all about: building those relationships and that trust and winning some big games together.
Obviously on the road later this week against Wisconsin Parkside, Purdue Northwest, 2 teams that you saw early in the year at Big Rapids High School. Maybe talk about going on the road and what it's going to take to come back with a couple wins here this weekend. Yeah,
I don't even know if I'll rewatch those games. Honestly, it's so long ago, and the teams on both sides have just changed so much. There's not a lot of value in that, and it seems like a long time ago. And if I remember those 2 games a little bit, we made a ton of shots. So you kind of figure when you make shots like that, the chances of winning are pretty good. But what do you do when you don't make shots? So that's kind of more of how we'll game plan. But we'll get on the road. It's one of our longer road trips from Wednesday, to late Saturday, maybe even into Sunday morning. And those road trips are a lot of fun, but those are the hard ones too.
Maybe talk about the progress some of your younger guys have made over the course of the year. Obviously, we saw in that last highlight clip, Reese Hazelton hit a couple shots for you, and some guys that have continued to get better here over the course of the year.
Yeah, those 3-pointers that Reese hit were big because he can really shoot it, and he's done it better in practice than he has in the game. So as soon as that starts translating to the game, he adds another element to his skill set that we know he can do. And then we play 4 freshmen every game, and we rely on them to make plays for us. It's not one of those things where it's courtesy or it's just a gimmick or we're hopeful. We see them making plays in practice. They've earned the time. We're relying on them, and they're a big part of what we do. So, their continued growth, you like to see them be sophomores by the end of their freshman year. You're speeding up the process, and a couple of those guys got a little time in the COVID season, Jimmy mostly, but that's something that we're doing is we're relying on young players, and that's good for the future.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time, and best of luck. Big week with 3 games here on tap this week for the Bulldogs.
All right, Robert, thanks.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.